Alright YouTube, welcome back to the channel, another video for you, and this time it is not a street lighting video for you, it's going to be a domestic video. Just going to be a shorter one, quite a basic job, but my task today is to mount a wall bracket on this wall here. I've got a socket there, so they're wanting a socket put in the wall somewhere behind where the TV is going to go. They've asked for it that it's pretty central to the wall. They've basically gave me measurements that they want me to go by, so that's fine. I've roughly marked out where the top, you can just see there the top and the bottom, and that's the centre of where the TV bracket is going to go. Once I've got that mounted, then I'll dig into getting a socket installed here somewhere as well. While shooting this video, this is during the heat wave, and even up in Glasgow the heat outside is scorching even at the time that I'm filming this, so the stuff up in the loft, which is just there, it's going to be quite minimal because I'm going to try and do that as quick as possible, and yeah, I'm sure you'll understand. One of the other things as well that the people that's got meant to do this work have asked is that I keep the filming to this room and this room only. Obviously I can understand that, they maybe not want me to go through their full house, so with regards to doing the stuff down at the board to isolate it and all that stuff, I'm the only person here. They've went out to let me do this job, so I'm just going to switch it off there and I'm not worried about anything like that. I've actually got another one to do in that room dead ahead of me. That's another bedroom, so it's just the exact same thing. I'm going to do that off camera again for speed and just so that it's not boring, because you'll see the full process here. I'll crack straight on there, but I've went ahead and took this one off. I'll just go and confirm that it's dead, and I'll show you guys all that. So as mentioned, I've already went ahead and measured the horizontal and the vertical. So getting 3320 there. Then we're getting 2320. 2320 there. So I've done all my measurements there, so I'm happy with that. Now it's just a case of lining this bracket up. Again, this is customer supply, so what I've done is I've just put a wee pencil line on the centre of that. They're my centres and the height that I want my bracket to be at, so I'll just do, so what I'll do is I'll just get this on here, mark my holes, and then hopefully I get lucky and find some studs here. But I'm sure this type of house, it's metal studs as opposed to wooden studs. So if I actually went and grab my wee pocket pro, it just makes wee jobs like this so much easier, so that I'm not worried about my spirit level going flying. Hopefully you'll see there I've got my 8 bits marked properly. You can see that line there as a join, but again I just, right, so I'm hitting a stud there, so maybe we'll be able to catch the stud for that one. It's probably going to be 600 centres, so I'm probably not going to catch a stud for either of these ones. Like I said, it's probably going to be a metal stud in there, so not ideal, but I'll make do with what I've got. I've got some fixings there that should do the job. So I'll check that I'm hitting that stud on that side first, and then we'll take it from there. Right, I thought I'd end up just setting the laser up here. Again, I don't know where your eyes are seeing that's going straight through the centre, and then it's on the centre. That's what I've marked there, so I'm happy that that is spot on, so that the TV is definitely going to sit the way I want it to sit. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to try and mount this and we'll see how I get on with it. Mark might put one in just to make sure. This one here that's on this join is just missing the stud, so I'm just going to put normal fixings in, all 8, so I'll just crack on that now. Right, so that's all 8 hammered in. I know 8 might seem a wee bit excessive, but it's a 42-inch TV and it's a couple of year old TV, so it's a little bit heavier, so I would rather be safe and stick all 8 in. When you're doing that there, obviously the idea is obviously not to have the pilot hole too loose, just to obviously hammer it in just so that it's nice and tight, and then obviously the teeth on the inside of the bits so that they get hammered in, and that's what's going to grip and then allow it to spread out. So going to try and put this bracket up now. Got my wee screws and I've grabbed some washers as well, just because otherwise it's just going to fall right through it. That was a bit of a faff there, so on line, level, and glad I put 8 fixings in it because it's just no great. I just don't trust fixings in Jip if it's going to be taken proper weight, so I'll put as many in it as I could. And then obviously this bracket sort of does all its stuff here, so it's one of these touting ones and goes all angles. On the face of it, try and get further back there, it looks a wee bit low, but this is me now sitting down, so I think when you're sitting down it's going to be the right height for the 42-inch TV and the centre of the room. I think the way that the customer's talking here is that they're going to be sort of doing a wee bit of jiggery pokery in this room, mounting some stuff up above it, possibly like a TV unit or a stand thing below just for decoration and stuff like that, but that's that part done. So what I'll do now is I'll just get these brackets on the TV and then mount it just to see exactly how it sits on the wall, just to make sure it's looking alright. Once I've done that, I'll know exactly what space I've got to play with there for a double socket to go on. So it's probably going to go, I'll put it on the top side just for a bit of ease, so it's probably going to be there because that's the end of the house there, so the more I come in this way, the more space I'm going to have up in the loft to play with and access and all that stuff. Right, I've ended up just doing this bit off camera. It's just putting on these brackets. Most of them, I'm going to contradict myself here, most of them are probably going to be the same, but obviously a lot of them could be different, so it would be pointless sort of following my guide. But on this particular one, they're wanting these wee screws at the bottom so that you can obviously sit it on and then tighten it up and lock it on. This one has a wee tilt thing, so you can adjust that there and there. You obviously want that on the outside. And then other than that, obviously I've just taken off the stand that it was on and put it to the side, and I'll give that obviously back to the client in case they ever want to change it back to being on a stand. But I'm just going to lift that on now here, get a gauge of the size and where it's going to sit, just so that I know exactly where I can cut out my socket, and then it's just a case of splitting this ring. I'm going to try and tie on to one of the legs, pull a cable up in the loft, obviously clip it and all that stuff, and come down to a socket here somewhere. Right, TV's up, but from here I don't know if you're able to tell, but it's sitting a wee bit skew-off, but the fixings and all that at the back showing you were all level and fine, but you can see there it's not sitting great. So on this bracket again, you can see, but there's 2 bolts here and 2 bolts the other side. Just having a wee look at it, and that is the level adjustment. There's a wee tilt on it to get that right, so I'm going to need to play about with that. And so this right hand corner is going to need to come down a little touch. After a lot of swearing, that's as good as I'm going to get it. The difficulty was you need to do it with the TV on it to obviously get it as close as you can, but with the TV on it, it moves so easily, so once you think you're holding it in place, then as soon as you go to tighten it, you can back a wee bit and it's moved again, but eventually managed to get it pretty much bang on. So now that I'm happy with that position, I can even just eyeball it here and mark out, even in that shadow, where I'm wanting to put a double socket. So the likelihood is that I think we're getting a corner couch in there, so they're probably going to tilt it more that way. Where's all the power for this actually? That's the power for this. I suppose it doesn't matter, it can all fish in the back of there, but I pick somewhere that's going to be easiest to stick a socket and just go with it. Right, so template marked out. To anybody that's not got one of these, I believe any or most of the Sparkies that even watch this channel will have one. This one's a Draper one, can't go wrong with Draper. Mark it out, perfect size obviously, but even a template. It's got the wee level in it as well, so good to go with that. Generally, if I'm only doing 1 or 2, I'm a pad saw guy for cutting this stuff out instead of a multi-tool, but on this occasion I've actually got new blades as well. I think it was Luke Sparky on Instagram that's pointed them out, so I thought I'd give them a try and just see what they're like. Obviously it's only one bit of jippy, so we'll go through it no bother, but just to see what they're like and actually get them working for us. So I'll cut this out. There would have been a dodgy cut there. Client just came home and shouted us. Don't know if you've heard that on camera, but that's why I just stopped there. So holes cut, and what I tend to do in these situations is just put a wee tiny hole through there, and I'll just use a stand on that. Use that as a wee sort of bradawl. Just so when I'm up in the loft, especially when it's this warm, I can see that, and then I know exactly where I'm drilling down, because I'm going to be drilling between, there's another room on the other side of that, so I've literally got like, what, measuring tape, so whatever that is, about 30mm or something like that. So I've only got a wee tight space to drill down. Obviously don't want to make any mistakes and come through in another room. So that's my reason for doing that. Told the client that, they're obviously happy with that. They would rather that wee tiny hole to be filled, which I'll do, than making a mess and drilling through into the wrong room or something like that. Just means as well I can then fish it down, no bother. Going to go and isolate that so you'll hear that in a second. Right, you can see that's off. I'll obviously stick my test lamps and stuff like that on it, but I'm satisfied that that's off and isolated down at the board. Client's are way back out now, so I'm going to be happy to work on that. Obviously disconnected that, tie a leg on and got in the loft, pull it up, hopefully it goes up, and not being both taped together. If it has, it won't be the end of the world, I'll still be able to get a cable back down there. Obviously you see this everywhere, but new builds, like, why not just sleeve them separately? Obviously they're twisted together as well, that's lovely. But surely it doesn't save that much time or that much materials just to fucking put them separately, but I think they're going to be taped just the way that they're moving together, but I'll give it a try and I'll see if I get lucky. I'll just make sure it's nice and strong when I'm taping it on. I'll even strip one of these back and do the wee eyelet loop thing, just to make sure it's a solid pull that I'm going to get on it. So warm today. I don't know how other folk are managing, especially down in England and stuff like that, but it's absolutely swelteringly hot. So I'll go and done it like that. I'll be able to put a wee loop in that and then do it to one of the cables and pull it back. Obviously just because I'm here in my Todd today, maybe stick a wee bit more tape on this actually, but you can see that one's taped up. I've done a wee eyelet loop thing on this to hopefully make sure it doesn't come flying off, and I've just connected this one back in because obviously I'm not sure what cable up there I'm going to be pulling, so if I do pull that it's just going to basically not come flying up the ceiling again, and I'm going to be in a position where I need to try and fish that cable down. Filming up in that loft is going to be a no-go for two reasons. Firstly, most importantly, it's far too warm up there. I literally was up for about 10 seconds and sweat is pouring off me. And the second reason is it's an absolute riot up there. Going up there and trying to move all the stuff out of the way just so that I can get angles to film and all that stuff is going to add another 10-15 minutes of my time up there. And I can only apologise, but I'm just not willing to do it. It's way too warm and I just want to get that part of it over with. Right, I'm jumping back in here for such a relatively simple job, but this is turning out to be an absolute nightmare. So as I thought, both the legs of the ring here were taped. It seems to be something to do. It seems to be something to do. They'll tape the legs together, which is fine for when you're first fixing, but when you're going there to make any alterations, it's an absolute nightmare. So what I had to do was pull both of them back up into the loft, but because that's way down at the eave of the house, I was literally lying flat on insulation in this heat, wearing shorts, and it's one of the worst jobs I've ever done. But I've managed to get one of my legs back down. This is going to be my link between here and here to continue the ring. I've used my wee pilot hole, drilled a hole maybe like 20mm away from that, came straight down in the void, fed my cable tongue down here, and luckily that's came through there first time. So all I need to do is go back up in the loft one more time and tape both of them on, or both the legs now onto here, bring it down, and then obviously just take away any slack there, because obviously I've had to sort of uncoil about another 10-15 metre of cable, which isn't ideal and I don't want to waste it, so just need to do that, and then that's the loft stuff done. I think I mentioned earlier on in the video I've got another one to do in that room there, so I'm going to just avoid, or I'm going to just leave doing the clipping and putting insulation all back together on another day, because I'm not actually doing the other one today, just with the heat and stuff like that. I've spoke to the client and it's just not feasible to do it today, so I'll put that all back together. I think I've got it penciled in for next week, so that's why you're not going to see any of that stuff in this video. Right, thank God for that. So you can see obviously my new cable, that one there's my new, and then obviously just split the ring between that, and then obviously the new one's my link between the two. So I'll try and even just leave it running, because I know I'm not actually showing much work today, it's just been sort of snapshots, but I'll do a wee clip of me fitting out these two sockets, and then obviously need to do a wee bit of a tidy up. Got all my stuff here. Right, you can see there obviously give it all a proper tidy up, hoover up. Really don't understand with that thing or that running joke that sparks don't clean up after themselves. The good ones definitely do, are the ones that actually care do. So all I need to really do now is mount this TV. I've done all the testing, or I'm going to be doing all the testing off camera because it's just getting on a wee bit today and it's way too warm. I want to just get up the road because this job has turned into obviously a bit of a nightmare, but just for a visual one for you guys, see that one there's flickering on this camera, but they're both on. That's the existing one again. That one's not showing as on, but it is on. But I'll run through my testing quickly. I'll get this TV on the wall, or I'll get the TV on the wall and I'll show you that working at least. And then it'll just be a case of packing this stuff up, and I'm going to have a 2-minute chat with you about all this black and yellow stuff here. Eventually got that done, cables all hit. TV will still need to be set up and all that stuff, but I think it's mainly just for using the Fire Stick and Netflix and all that stuff, so that's all fine. So I'll turn the TV off. But I said that I wanted to show you guys some of my stuff, or all the black and yellow stuff. So since the last time I done a wee bit of a video when I was showing some of my tools, it's changed quite a bit since then. So I think obviously showed my Vito with all that stuff, but the main point of this is the DeWalt stuff. So what I've started doing now is I've changed obviously my setup a wee bit, and I'm just using the T-stack stuff like a lot. I know obviously a lot of people are using the Milwaukee pack out, but I'm going down the DeWalt route, and one of the big reasons for that is I actually won a wee competition on Elect Tools away from CGR Electrical, and I won this multi-tool. So I had the DCS 355 I actually had, but I won the newer model. So I sold the old one and I won a cable stapler, a couple of batteries, couple of other wee bits and bobs like drill bits and all that sort of good stuff. So I'm just going to utilise all this T-stack now. So basically the bottom one that's on the wheeler, I actually got this in a different set when I bought all my drills and stuff, but this one is going to be used for wheeling all my drills and stuff like that into a job. So I'll just chuck everything in there, drills, batteries, drill bits and all that. And then obviously there's that one there, but that's just going to be used for carrying in materials. So say I've got all my drills and all that stuff in there, I can put some cable, I can put a socket, switches, this, that, the next thing, all my consumables in there. And then obviously I've got 2 of these organisers, or whatever you want to call them just now. So obviously one just for fixes and some of that stuff. I've still to properly sort them all out and all that, but just roughly just now. And then this one here's just got, obviously I'll be getting rid of that connector block, but it's just a temporary thing now because I need to do a wee restock on Wagos, clips, and then I had to go out and buy some staples for the DeWalt stapler that I won. But my intention is to obviously buy a couple more of these organisers, and then that way I can obviously just have everything laid out properly, get everything exactly where I need it, and job's a good one. And then it'll be pretty easy to find everything I've got. I'll have one for stuffing glands and all that sort of stuff. So I just thought I'd show you that.